Now, to talk about Operation Emberrise, I am joined by Senior Level Designer Jeremy Dowsett, as well as Presentation Director Alex Kaprasis. Now that we are in North Carolina, Alex, how does it feel to be back here at a major?
It's beautiful, it's sunny out, it's a great time to talk about Season 3.
And we will be saving all of your operator intel for the second half of the panel, as usual. And Jeremy, any interesting run-ins with bourbon and barbecue?
There's been a few run-ins with barbecue pretty much every night. The food here is amazing. Just everyone I've met is so lovely to talk to. It's such a great place to be.
All right, well, let's get started with your map, which is Cafe. And this is one of the original maps of Siege. Now, Kanal has not been available in the ranked playlist for almost 2 years, so since September 2017. So many of you will be happy to know that with this rework, Kanal will be coming back to ranked.
That's correct. We've gone through top to bottom on this map and we've totally reworked it. Obviously, adding a new bomb site makes it ranked compatible. But, you know, if we talk about the problems with the map, you know, we've gone through, we've really looked at navigation, we've looked at sound, we've looked at lighting. It's going to feel like a comfy pair of slippers, but it has, you know, a new spice to it, that's for sure.
So first, let's compare it to the Cafe rework to get kind of a scope of this project. Because, of course, since we haven't seen Kanal in ranked for so long, presumably it would have required a more thorough overhaul. And you worked on this for 9 months, almost a year.
It was about 9 months worth of work. The team and I started working on it around Paris Major time last year. So it's been 9 months of looking at the map, taking it apart, and obviously trying to fix all of the issues with it.
So speaking about the issues, let's start breaking those down. Now, the most obvious problem that Kanal had was the choke points.
Yes.
Kanal is one building to the east, one to the west, and before there was just one bridge connecting both buildings. How was this addressed?
The first thing we did is we added a bridge off of control room, which now gives a new rooftop access as well. So you have 2 bridges. You have the original bridge still in the same place as it always has been, and then there's a new bridge 1 floor up. So that aids in the rotation. The other thing we did is we went through and we added stairs. We know that 2 sets of stairs or 2 flights of stairs are always much better than 1 flight of stairs. So we've added an extra set of stairs into both buildings.
So now each building has 2 stairs, and of course the choke point has been pretty opened up in the middle.
What's happened now is when you go and play, and you know obviously it comes out soon, it's much more of a roamer-friendly map, and the rounds play an awful lot more differently than they used to, because the way the rounds played was people would wait to the last minute and then they would basically just rush in and smoke or whatever. So now what you're going to find is people are clearing the building. They're actually going because they can actually get to the objective rather than waiting outside.
All right, and then we should also talk about the other elephant in the room, which was the spawn peaks. One of your favorite things to address?
Yeah, after the closet window in Villa, sprint yeet the seafloor towards fountains. I learned from that one quite well. So what we've done is we've gone through and we've looked at all of the run-outs and the run-out possibilities, and we've made sure that anyone that wants to run out will be detected before they get to the edge of the roof, in most cases.
So if you really have your heart set on running out, you still can, but you'll be detected, so it turns into more of a 1v1 scenario.
Yeah, it still can be done. You know, yesterday we were playing with a bunch of the creators, and you know, they will run out on you, and they did. But you know, it becomes a one-on-one. It's possible, but it's dangerous.
Right. So it's a little bit more skill, which I think is what you're going for.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Kanal also received a lot of the same upgrades that the Cafe rework had, which is like sound propagation. Destruction is a lot more clear now. Lighting updates as well.
The team went through and did an amazing job, the art team especially, going through and color coding the stairs. The sound team did a great job because it is a big map and there's a lot of doorways and windows. So we went through and we touched everything. There's a lot of line of sight floors now, so you can play, you can defend from below. So it's actually really quite fun, and it's quite balanced. I enjoy playing it.
I guess in your words, that our team actually went rogue.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they went rogue. Yeah, they went rogue. So what happens is, as we've changed metrics over the seasons, basically we had to move all of the walls by 5 centimeters. That means they had to touch the shell anyway, and whilst they were rejinking the shell, they just went through and redid the entire thematics of the buildings, and it looks absolutely superb.
And so we'll see when we're going through the map that when a wall is destructible, not only does it look destructible, but there are those markings on the ground, just for anyone who's new to the game or has kind of issues about looking for destructibility. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start breaking down every single bomb site on Kanal. And we're going to start with the second floor. So are you ready to go through the entire map, Jeremy?
I'm good to go.
All right, so again, we're starting here on the second floor. The objective here is server radar. We're going to be spawning in at Sailboat, which is to the south, and we're going to be going straight there.
So the spawn points in this map haven't actually changed at all. So there's still the three major spawn points, sailboats, floating docks, and construction. There's new art assets, nothing too serious, but there is some new stuff to block lines of sight. We're going to go in through reception. What people will notice with reception is we've actually changed the rotation of the desk, so it actually aids in navigation. And if you look sneakily to the left, archives is much wider now as well. The original bridge is still off to the right, and this is blue corridor, and you can see the markings that are on the floor to show you where the destructible walls are. And then you go through, and you're going to come up a new area, which is printer stairs, which is a new rooftop access. And this access on the right is there's a window, and then you have the new tunnel that goes to control room. Now, control room radar used to be one massive plant zone. What we've done is we've actually split it down. Renovations are still there. I know people love renovations in the soft wall. So the plant zone is actually much smaller, so people have to commit. All the blue walls here are destructible. Then you're into red corridor, going towards green stairs, and then you're going into server. Now, server used to have the corridor around it. We removed it because you get confused. So the bomb sites are side by side. You can blow the walls and have a lot of rotation. It's line of sight, and there's 3 hatches in this area.
So this objective especially, it used to kind of feel like sitting in a glass aquarium for the defenders. There were a lot of windows that opened up directly onto the site, but we don't see any of that now.
Basically, when we go through, we start iterating upon the map. We shut down all of the windows, so the first thing we did on this map is we shut the windows, and then bit by bit we opened them. Obviously, like you say, you felt like you're in an aquarium. The gameplay is still there because that's the flavor of the map. You still can actually snipe from the rooftop, but the field of view and the angles now is actually much, much finer, so you need to really time your shots.
Runouts are harder, sniping's harder, it's more skillful.
Yes.
All right, so now let's move down to the first floor. There are 2 objectives here. There is one to the west, which is Coast Guard Meeting Lounge, and then there is one to the east. I have that backwards. There's one to the east, and no, that right? Okay.
There's maps and security.
We're going to maps and security, and we're going to go up to the second floor first, and then we're going to go down to the first floor.
So maps and security had maps hasn't really changed too much, but people will recognize it. Construction, everyone's going to remember, it hasn't actually changed all that much. There's a few new props, but the path is still the same from the spawn points. You'll see the nice new red stairs that are covered to stop people come running down and doing early kills. You will get detected by the time you're at the bottom. You come in through construction entrance, and then we have the entrance, and if you go hard right, you'll go into green stairs, back up to server again. Now, what's really nice about this is with the stairs and the walls, it's really easy to call out. It's actually much easier for people to navigate because it's just cleaner and much nicer for the players. You blow the hatch and you drop straight into security. Now, with security, if you remember, there used to be a locker room. That's changed. We've put a door through now, so you can actually go between the 2 bomb sites, between maps and security. And then the kitchen is still off on the right-hand side. You'll notice there is actually a window in projector just to the side, so you can still get shot at from the roof or across the buildings. And obviously there's a window in kitchen if you want to try and come through.
Right, and so this is an objective that's been changed so that you have to commit when you go onto the site.
You really need to get through the door, and it's one of the sites where you're going to find that you can actually defend it remotely, and I think we'll see a lot of that being played.
All right, so let's go on to the other objective on the first floor to the west. We're actually going to spawn in construction again, so this is a bit of a longer route to take, and instead of going up to the second floor first and then working our way down, we're going to go from the basement.
So everyone remembers Coast Guard meeting. There's been a number of significant changes to this area, but it's still going to feel quite familiar. So we're off at Coast Guard again. You can obviously see the wonderful submarines that are docked there. You come through, and the route we're going to take is we're going to go down into Garage. Garage is now external rather than being internal, with the doorway to the red stairs on the left-hand side. So this is now, you know, a place where the defenders can't go. So we've closed it up a little bit. walls, then you come across blue corridor into Coast Guard meeting. Everyone will remember the 145-degree wall that's actually in the map, which is the split between the two rooms. Go through complete line of sight floor here, and then what people will notice is Archives has changed. It's much wider, there's a breakable wall, and there's a double door, so it's less of a choke if you're actually going to try and attack from Archives. It's still hard, but you can do it.
Nice. So still, once again, it's skillful.
Yes.
And we also saw Amar's gadget being used there, as you mentioned, coming up through the hatch, which makes defending this site kind of tricky, because now you have to decide if you want to reinforce those hatches, which limits your rotations.
It's a choice that people will learn, and they'll actually, the strats will evolve over time. Obviously, with you having to reinforce hatches, you know, you make a decision. If someone's staying anchored in the bomb site, you can cover the hatch. You're going to hear it get blown, so it's not so bad, but it does change the strats a little bit for sure.
All right, so let's move on to the last objective then, and this is in the basement. Now, the basement never had an objective before. Of course, this brings the total number to 4, making it ranked playlist compatible. For this one, we're going to start by spawning in the northwest at Floating Dock, and we are going to make use of a new tunnel to get on site.
Ah, the tunnel, yes. So this area's changed quite a lot. Everyone will remember Coast Guard suppliers. It hasn't changed. It looks exactly the same, but we've rejigged a little bit. When you start a floating dock, you can now go up right. There's a path that leads up to car park, and you can drop down into Forklift Alley. There's a new tunnel that goes all the way through to the car park as well, and all of this has been completely reworked. So you've got the new shell, you've got diving alcove, and what we're about to do is jump into diving, which is a new room. In the far right-hand corner behind the scuba gear, there's the set of stairs that leads all the way up into printer. You have a tunnel that comes all the way from diving, all the way through to in between showers. So if you're getting pinched, you can drop into the tunnel, but you have to be careful because obviously defenders or attackers, everyone can use it. You come through bathroom, into the basement corridor, and then you're into boat suppliers. This will look very familiar to people because it hasn't changed all that much. Obviously there's a bomb hatch there. And we go into kayaks, which is a new room and a new bomb site, which is really good. The white walls are all destructible, so we've color-coded that. And then you have diving. So you've got a lot of options, and the site plays really interesting because everyone tries to use the same old strategy. You know, there's always a firefight on white stairs, which is quite fun, but now it changes because there's different options.
So from your testing, is the tunnel more advantageous for attackers or for defenders?
It's really a 50-50 because it's a risk versus reward, to be honest, because there's a ladder and it does leave whoever uses it, they're going to be prone when they're coming out the ladder so that they can get attacked quite quickly. I find it really useful when you're getting pinched and you're playing lockers and you want to just get out and rotate straight back down to diving.
All right.
Try to stop all of the spawn peaks. I'm sure that someone's going to find one somewhere, but that's the beauty of the community. They always learn, and I learn from them.
Well, you'll be able to play the new Kanal Rework starting tomorrow, Monday, August 19th on the test server. So get out there and make Jeremy and his team proud.